In the nonprofit space, you probably need to get a lot done with a little. You're listening to Hacks for Good with nonprofit technology nerd Taylor Shanklin.
We're all hustling at nonprofits, at startups.
T. Shank is going to break it down for you. The latest and greatest tools available to growth hack your cause.
Hey, fundraising friends. This is Taylor Shanklin, aka T. Shank. And just got my coffee. Wanted to do a little walk. I got in a little shady spot here. Just want to get in a quick video. Click on my face down there in the bottom corner there if you want to subscribe and just get regular updates and notifications when I launch new videos here on Hacks for Good. But I want to talk today about inhibitors to growth. I think there's often misconceptions about what may or may not be inhibiting growth at your organization. So whether you are at a nonprofit organization, at a startup, at a foundation, at a small company, I think oftentimes we look at things that are more on the surface, we're just not growing our email file fast enough to get enough new donors to account for our attrition rate. Or, sales isn't picking up the phone enough or something like that. But those, I believe, are actually all symptoms. I think the greatest inhibitors to growth, the root of the problem and what causes those symptoms, are actually a bit more philosophical. So I want to talk about what I think are three of the greatest inhibitors to growth. The first one is lack of communication. The second one is fear. And the third one is ego. And I think these are all things that are easy to say are problems and not do anything about, but they also can be overcome. And I want to start talking about how to overcome those issues so that ultimately your symptoms go away. Like a virus, right? So lack of communication, I think, is the easiest one out of the three of those to fix. You can try, if you currently are communicating in silos, you can try to create stakeholder groups where you kind of get someone from every department at the table to be a representative, right? You can use online tools like online project management collaboration, IM, Slack, things like that. So those are just a couple of the ways that I think lack of communication can easily be overcome. I also think that oftentimes there's kind of a fine line between, well, how do we not get too many cooks in the kitchen? And that's where I think stakeholder groups can come into play and be effective for that. The second thing I want to talk about, and the second largest inhibitor to growth, is fear. Fear is one that I like to talk about a lot, and it's harder to overcome, right? It can be scary to try new things, but I think at the end of the day, practicing trying something that's lower risk and then kind of working your way up the ladder could help you to overcome the fear to try new things. And I've heard this before in working with organizations, talking to them about fear of trying new software, or fear of, what will their donors think what will our donors think if we have a new website that looks nice? They'll think that we're spending all of the money on that. But I think maybe a way to overcome that, like I said, is to just kind of take small steps, because I do think fear keeps us from innovating. It keeps us from trying new things that might be wildly successful. Now, you might try new things that are a failure, and that's okay. I think it's good to just admit it, and that's where the third greatest inhibitor to growth comes into play, and that's ego. And I think that's the most challenging one to overcome. As humans, we don't like to admit our failures. we do all have an ego in some capacity, maybe some people more than others, but we don't like to admit when we're wrong. And I do think that that is one of the greatest, absolute greatest inhibitors to growth, is letting our ego get in the way of what's best for the organization, what's best for the cause. And so I think working through, if you have a failure, admit it, just own it, and move on. If you have a hard time letting someone else get the glory or do the work or whatever it is, try to, again, take baby steps and give away a little bit at a time. Try to, if you've got one small project that normally you would do, but maybe your ego's getting in the way and you don't want to pass that off or delegate it to someone else, take a small project first and give it to someone else and delegate it and be a part of it and communicate and use the communication tools. Because I think that you'll find that when we let go of our egos, when we let go of fear, and when we start truly communicating, that those things will all make a lot of the symptoms that we feel on a daily basis, the pains, go away. All right, that's all I've got for today. I'm going to keep it short. Again, click on my little caricature to subscribe and get regular updates. All right, later guys, bye.
We really appreciate you tuning in to Hacks for Good. We hope you got some nuggets you can take back to your nonprofit to accelerate growth, or just get your job done faster. Subscribe for regular updates at hacksforgood.com. If you liked it, please share this out with others you think may like it. Until next time.